I stole your money, you'd be angry. If I took your data, you may forgive me. But if I took your attention, you might never even notice. And that is the problem. The value of traditional money is in the past. This is the age of an attention economy, where a product's monetary value only goes as far as the amount of attention it draws. Thus, the art of grabbing and retaining attention is one of the most valuable skills of the 21st century. Now, I invite you all to come and look at the changes in consumer behaviors today. The 1920s was the production era, where the commercial aspect of the world had just left the station. But by the 1950s, competition got fierce, and the need for attracting an audience was discovered. As time progressed, long-term customer relationships are what underpinned successful institutions. In India, the same can be observed. We go to the same banks that our parents went to, which is the same banks that their parents went to, showing how trust, familiarity, and perceived safety outweigh other alternatives. As a businessman or woman, you have a mere 7 words to sell not only your product, but the brand as a whole. Every time someone chooses to pay attention, they incur an opportunity cost of not being involved in another activity, which is why it is crucial to reward and retain this attention. Some tactics most commonly used by businesses are relatability. In case of a rational consumer, people buy what they think they need. In a cognitive sense, a relatable topic has lesser load on the brain and therefore is prioritized. Relatability allows companies to have a competitive advantage, allowing for higher engagement, stronger loyalty, and organically amplifying reach. Another tactic most commonly used is the use of color psychology to engage the consumer's senses. Examples of this can be Coca-Cola Red or Tiffany Blue. While I was doing my research for this very talk, I came across an ad for Lipton green tea, where they placed the elements of the advertisement in such a way to represent the Fibonacci sequence spiral. By using something that is already available in nature, they were able to associate their product to a sense of calm. By the way, if at any point I lose your attention, don't worry, I'll add a dramatic pause. Those always work. See? In our daily lives, we too can use such tactics to engage with higher social hierarchies, or in my case, impress college admission officers. The secret to grabbing someone else's attention is actually giving them your attention, ironically. When we show active listening and genuine curiosity, people are more likely to remember the attention that we paid to them and return appreciate our efforts. Also, I'd like to add that silences don't mean that the conversation is lulled, but rather they can sometimes be a symbol of an even stronger bond. The future remains unknown, especially as our attention spans dwindle in size. But the attention economy represents one of the largest sectors of our global economy. However, its true scale is hidden behind the illusion of these free services. In those cases, we are not the customer, but the product itself. The attention economy is a concept theorized by Herbert A. Simon, a Nobel laureate from the great 1960s and 1970s. He made this concept following the basic economic theory of unlimited wants but only finite resources. The same can be applied here, where an abundance of information leads to a scarcity of attention. The next generation of iPad kids seem to have the same problem, where their problems of hyperactivity and inattention will further affect their normal functions, especially as our attention spans dwindle in size. Personally, I'd also like to say that just last week, I was walking around with my friends and I saw this amazing bag. And I told them, oh, it will look amazing on me. And the very next day, as I was scrolling through my feed, the very same bag popped up. I clicked on the link and it took me right to the website where it was already added to my cart, and all I had to do was click pay now. I thought I must be a next level manifester. But then, as I got ready to tell all my friends about this crazy coincidence, they all seemed to beat me to it with their own stories of manifestation, where every ad, email, and even pigeon was selling them that very same bag. That is when I realized the true power of surveillance capitalism. Personally, attention protection can also lead to improvement in relationship quality, family satisfaction, and community connection. We as humans are social creatures and should remain so. Using the tactics that I have informed you about today, I hope that you know to protect your attention. So lastly, I leave you with this. What if the most valuable, luxurious life that you could live is one that is deep and fulfilling, just because you took one step here today to honor and protect your attention?